Imagine finding a painting you wanted people to see. Would you put it near the entrance? Or would you carry fire into a place where the sun never reached? Some Ice Age people did exactly that. They went past daylight into cave interiors and left animals on the walls. So why go in? Because in some documented cave interiors, people had to bring light with them. That took fuel and planning. It supports a deliberate, managed visit. It does not give us one proven motive. The first answer is not magic. It is much stranger and much more real. Going into the dark was work. The cave did not become dark in a poetic way. It became dark in the practical way that makes every step, every wall, and every minute harder. No daylight, no easy way to see a loose rock, no easy way to see the person beside you. If a flame went out, the cave changed at once. That is the clue hiding behind the paintings, or some decorated cave interiors. Entering meant bringing light. And bringing light meant planning. It meant fuel. It meant carrying something that smoked, flickered, and ran out. It meant choosing where to stand, where to look, and where to stop. That does not tell us one perfect reason for the art, but it does tell us this. These visits were not accidents. You may picture cave art as a few people wandering in, finding a blank wall, and making a quick sketch. The evidence makes that simple story hard to keep. In deep cave spaces, light was not just helpful. It shaped what people could do. Experiments with torches, portable lamps, and fixed fires show that each kind of light behaves differently. A torch helps you move. A lamp can give steadier light nearby. A fire can light a place for longer, but it also brings smoke and limits where people can stay. So the question changes. It is no longer, why did they make art in a cave? It becomes, why was this wall worth the fire? That is a much better mystery. Think about the first few steps past the entrance. Behind you is the last patch of sky. Ahead is a wall that only exists for you while the flame stays alive. The light is small. The cave is not. We cannot rebuild every visit. But the basic problem is impossible to ignore. Darkness made the choice expensive. And expensive choices usually matter. One of the clearest clues comes from Nerja Cave in southern Spain. Researchers studied a fixed light point in decorated galleries. They found charcoal and soot. They identified the wood used as fuel. And AMS dating placed that light point in the Solutrean period. Nearby art has a similar broad chronology. That is a powerful clue. But it has a limit. It does not prove that one person lit that exact light and painted one exact animal in the same moment. It does not prove a ceremony. It does not prove a secret audience. It proves something more solid. People had a managed source of light inside decorated galleries. Sometimes, the strongest evidence is not a big answer. It is a small object that refuses to let the easy story survive. Lascaux gives us another reminder. Archaeological work there records lamps, including a crafted lamp found at the base of the shaft seen. That does not mean every Lascaux image was made the same way. But it shows that lighting objects belonged in this world of underground art and movement, and Chauvet gives us a different kind of anchor. Direct radiocarbon dates show that some drawings there are around 30,000 years old. That date tells us how early this art appears. It does not tell us which light was used there, or why any image was placed where it was. For the light problem, we return to the selected cases with actual lighting evidence. The answer was not one tool. It was a system of choices. Where do we go? What do we carry? How long can we stay? What can this light reveal? Those questions are easy to feel because we still know them. Turn off every light in your home. Walk into the farthest room with one candle. Suddenly the room is not the same room. You move differently. You notice edges. You stay close to the light. You decide what is worth carrying with you. That is not proof that Ice Age people felt exactly like us. It is a way to understand the physical pressure they faced. The wall was not simply there, waiting to be painted. It had to be reached. It had to be seen. And at least in some cases, it had to be made visible by human effort. This is where people often rush to a dramatic answer. Maybe the cave was a shrine. Maybe only special people were allowed in. Maybe the darkness made the images feel alive. Any of those ideas can sound right. Some may even be possible in some places. But depth alone does not prove them. Researchers can study access, visibility, movement, charcoal, and light. They can ask how hard a place was to reach, how many people might fit, or whether an image could be seen from another space. Those are real questions. But they do not give us a list of who was invited, what people believed, or one universal reason for making art. So why go in? Because in some documented cave interiors, people chose a place that cost effort to reach and keep visible. The evidence supports deliberate, materially managed activity there. That is the answer we can stand on. The deeper answer is still open. Maybe different caves had different purposes. Maybe an image was made to be seen by a few people, many people, or someone returning later. Maybe the root, the wall, the sound, and the light all mattered together. Those are possibilities, not recovered facts. And that uncertainty does not make the story smaller, it makes the choice bigger. These people did not just leave animals on stone. In some places, they made a temporary island of light inside a world with no sun. The flame could fail. The darkness was waiting. They carried the conditions for seeing with them. That is why the title matters. Why did some Ice Age people paint where no sunlight reached? We cannot name one reason. But we can see the cost of the choice: fuel, light time, movement. A wall made visible only because someone decided it was worth making visible. The dark did not give us their full explanation. It gave us their commitment. And it raises another question. Once you bring light underground, how do you keep it alive long enough to work?